Domestic and Cross-Border System Integration by Prashant Patel. 1. Introduction. Real-time is not a single system, it's an ecosystem. A bank cannot operate in real-time if each of its payment channels continues to run on DRent. Schedules, technologies, and operational models. True 24/7/365 readiness means that domestic rails, RTGS, ACH/SEPA, FPS. Cross-border rails, Unite FMI, SWIFT, intermediary banks. Internal systems, core banking, treasury, compliance, fraud. All work together as one continuous payment fabric. This article provides banks with the integration blueprint to achieve that convergence. 2. The 5 payment domains that must be unified. Every bank today runs a combination of these systems. 1. RTGS, Real-Time Gross Settlement Systems. Used for large value and high-priority domestic payments. Available hours, traditionally limited but many are extending. Must align to 24/7 liquidity and funding windows. 2. ACH/SEPA/batch systems. Low-cost, high-volume domestic transfers. Batch cycles incompatible with real-time expectations. 3. Faster payment systems, FPS. Domestic instant rails, e.g., Faster Payments UK, FedNow, PIX. Must be monitored continuously. 4. Cross-border networks. Today, SWIFT plus correspondent banks. Tomorrow, real-time infrastructures like Unite FMI, providing O. Instant settlement. O. PVPFX. O. Dynamic sanctions. O. 24/7 liquidity movement. 5. Internal bank systems. Core banking platforms. Treasury engines. Compliance systems. Data platforms. Channel systems, online, mobile, corporate portals. A bank becomes real-time only when all 5 domains operate as one. 3. Why integration is the hardest step of real-time transformation. Most banks underestimate how fragmented their architectures are. DRent message standards. ISO20022, proprietary formats, ACH formats, MT messages. DRent operating windows. Some are 24/7, others are not. Some have planned downtime. Others forbid it. DRent settlement are. 6. Domestic system integration, the hard truth. RTGS limitations. Although RTGS hours are extending, many are still not 24/7. Banks must accumulate liquidity BUAs, pre-fund expected flows, maintain predictive analytics, use Unite FMI for 24/7 mobility in currencies where RTGS is closed. ACH/SEPA batch conflicts. Batch systems create QTO pressures, reconciliation delays, settlement uncertainty. Banks should route as many cross-border flows as possible away from batch channels. Faster payment system constraints. FPS systems vary significantly. Banks must implement monitoring to detect FPS outages. Ensure fallback to Unite FMI or RTGS. Maintain liquidity for FPS pre-funding windows. 7. Practical implementation checklist. Routing and orchestration. Heavy checkmark routing engine in place. Heavy checkmark real-time rule engine. Heavy checkmark SLA-based routing. Heavy checkmark multi-rail decisioning. Heavy checkmark exception queues. Settlement. Heavy checkmark RTGS integration. Heavy checkmark FPS integration. Heavy checkmark Unite FMI integration. Heavy checkmark SWIFT fallback. Heavy checkmark automated account posting. Compliance. Heavy checkmark dynamic sanctions. Heavy checkmark real-time AML. Heavy checkmark case routing queues. Operations. Heavy checkmark 24/7 payment operations. Heavy checkmark on-call rotation. Heavy checkmark incident dashboards. Treasury. Heavy checkmark 24/7 liquidity mobility. Heavy checkmark automated intraday sweeps. Heavy checkmark FX. 8. Conclusion: the bank that integrates best will lead. Real-time transformation is not just about speed. It is about integration discipline. Banks that succeed will remove internal fragmentation, eliminate settlement delays, deliver predictable cross-border performance, enhance liquidity precision, improve customer confidence. 9. Example architecture diagram. The Unite FMI is established to be a gateway to all banks globally, both cross-border and domestically. A bank may clearly be connected to several FMIs, e.g., RTGS and TIPS is shown below, by utilizing advanced routing engines in-house. Note: there are no minimum volumes required, and all pay the same through the Unite FMI. This assures a level playing field between banks of any size. 3. Why integration is the hardest step of real-time transformation. Most banks underestimate how fragmented their architectures are. DRent message standards. ISO20022, proprietary formats, ACH formats, MT messages. DRent operating windows. Some are 24/7, others are not. Some have planned downtime, others forbid it. DRent settlement risks. Gross versus net, instant versus deferred, cash versus credit prefunding. DRent compliance regimes. Domestic versus cross-border versus FX. To succeed, banks must build an integration fabric that normalizes all rails into a unified abstraction layer. For the real-time integration model, RTIM, a 3-layer architecture banks should implement immediately. Layer 1 e-channel/UI layer. All channels must become real-time compatible. Mobile and online banking. Corporate portals. APIs, banking as a service, corporate connectivity. Branch operations. ATM networks. This means real-time pricing, real-time validation, real-time status updates, real-time FX quotes, if needed. Anything less breaks the real-time customer promise. Layer 2 orchestration layer. This is where banks achieve true integration. It includes 1. Real-time routing engine. Dynamically chooses between domestic FPS, domestic RTGS, Unite FMI, SEPA/ACH where applicable, Swift fallback, internal book transfers. Logic includes destination. 5. Unite FMI integration model. A unique enabler for cross-border real-time operations. Unite FMI changes everything because it simultaneously provides real-time settlement, real-time FX on a voluntary basis, PVP risk elimination, dynamic sanctions screening, straight-through data routing, global reach through RTGS and Swift interoperability. Integration requires 3 building blocks. 1. Payment order API. Used for sending and receiving orders, getting real-time cost/time indications, attaching enriched data, triggering AML before execution. 2. Settlement account synchronization. 6. Domestic system integration, BAHA.